Hi Leo, welcome to Sugar Free. This is your Q4 2023 reading, October, November, December. What's coming up? General energy reading, not necessarily focusing on love or anything like that. Famous last words. So I'm working with two decks. I've got the Ancient Italian Tarot here, which I'm going to start shuffling. And here I've got the Rider-Waite split into its suits. And what I'm going to do is pull, everything shuffled from the last reading. What I'm going to do is pull three of these ancient Italian major arcana. And I'm going to build the reading off of that. And I'm going to clarify each of the three major arcana with one card from each of the suits of the minor arcana, and perhaps pull some sort of oracle card at the end if I fancy it. So that's what's going to happen. So there we go. One more little shuffle for you, Leo. Okay. Right, so card number one, the Wheel of Fortune. Now, whether the Wheel of Fortune comes out on its head, so to speak, or not, in some cases it's immaterial because a wheel is a wheel is a wheel. Who's to say what is the right way up for a pinwheel? But, you know, it's a card and it is depicted in that position as the upright. So just saying, let's see what else turns up. Okay, we've got the Empress in the reverse. We've got the Tower. Okay. Right. Leo, I don't usually say things like this in readings, but I see a swift change of fortunes on the table. Swift. And perhaps, you know, well, it's a tower, like bolt from the blue, isn't it? But it looks to me like this is going to be a really, really, really fortuitous thing. Because, you know, the combination, I mean, you know, I happen to have pulled the Empress in the reverse here. There's no growth. There's no growth, but you don't see that. You don't see that. This middle column here in this 3-card spread represents the hidden energy. This is the overall energy, or like the big potential energy. And if you can see this and acknowledge this, okay, this is the kind of situation, like snapshot of how you see things now. And this is what you don't see. Yeah, something's kind of phasing out. Isn't phase an electrical term? I mean, there's a bit of electricity going on there, isn't there? And it doesn't matter how well built that tower is. It's like a Norman flipping watchtower. Do you know, I know some people here in England who still haven't got over the fact that the Normans invaded from northern France like 1,000 years ago. That will be 20. Oh no, it'd be 2066. I won't live to see it. Never mind. So yeah, it doesn't matter how well built it is and what sort of effect it has on those who know of its existence or see it, or even worse, get locked up in it. All of that is for the flipping birds. When that bolt from the blue comes, that's the nature of this. Perhaps you kind of want this. I don't know, because, you know, the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, I said sometimes it's relevant that it's in reverse, sometimes it's not. In this case, I think it is. You're not feeling lucky. You're not feeling lucky, and there's something going on that is blocking growth. And the longer this persists, the more likely this is. And this is not the kind of thing you want to go engaging in, like willingly. Sorry, I mean, it's none of my business, but, I'm just here reading cards on YouTube. But the nature of this change is that it is not actually your doing, okay? It's the lightning. It wasn't flipping regime change like William the Conqueror, like getting deposed and they went around and took all the watchtowers down. They didn't. That's what the Tower of London is. It's a flipping Norman prison. Unbelievable. It's still there 1,000 years later. Anyway, it's not been dismantled. It's had a rapid unscheduled disassembly, as they said about one of those spaceships that blew up. Rapid unscheduled disassembly. And it's linked to this blocked growth. There's something happening that is making you feel unlucky. And it's going to be very interesting to pull. I'm going to pull straight away on this Empress in the reverse. I'll change up the order of things when I fancy it. Okay, now I don't take reversals in this minor arcana section. We've got the 9 of Pentacles. So I mean, the 9 of Pentacles is the kind of minor arcana version of the Empress, really. And the fact the Empress is here in the reverse, and we've got, there's, oh, goodness me. There's something deep in the kind of metabolism of your life that feels kind of really strong and feels like independent and in a position to sort of survey, possession of all you survey. Okay, and I get this surveillance thing, so to speak, this sort of view, this like bird's eye view from that bird. That's a hawk. She's wearing the hawker's glove, so she's skilled as well, and she's courageous, and she's in touch with a sort of a wider vision, and she can afford to be because she's got everything she wants. So I'm just going to link, I mean, obviously it's linked with the Empress, but perhaps when I pull on, I'll have a better idea of what the nature of this linkage is. Because, I mean, I could say that this is sort of, if I don't take reversals, then I kind of might as well always take reversals. It's just a position to take. It makes life simpler in some ways. But, I mean, that would just be a confirmation if the 9 of Pentacles was in the reverse. It's in the upright. I do these cards in the upright, end of. And that is like a direct contradiction. So that's fascinating. I'm going to do this a different way today. I'm going to do all the suits. I'm going to do them horizontally. Well, so far. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, this feeling of things not going your way, basically, in the Wheel of Fortune in reverse there. And that there's a kind of nonsensicalness to it. And it doesn't matter what you do. Things just kind of don't come up trumps for you, so to speak. And there's this feeling of just trudging and trudging and trudging. And that's hardly surprising. I mean, I usually see the Knight of Pentacles in really kind of favourable terms. I really like the energy of the Knight of Pentacles. Slow and steady wins the race. But it's linked today in this reading to this Empress in the reverse, this blocked growth, this lack of growth, this kind of futile. There's a futility about this. I mean, how many times are you going to circumnavigate the flipping globe with that pentacle? It's blocked energy. There's blocked energy here. I'm going to leave this one till finished. Where am I going next? I'm going to pull a wand on this. Okay, we got the King of Wands. The Ace of Swords and the 8 of Cups. Yeah, actions required here. Actions required. And perhaps like the presence of the 8 of Cups here, and sort of action in a kind of public way within the world. Well, both within the world. There's sort of taking charge of something here with the King of Wands. Do you know what? I think this Nine of Pentacles is actually telling me that you have a bird's eye view of this situation. But it's like moving beyond it feels like the nuclear button. Here in the Tower, it feels like pressing the ejector seat. There's a move here in the King of Wands and the Ace of Swords to enact some new kind of way of expressing yourself in the world. That's what that's what the swords are about. It's about expression. It's about thought and words. And you know, the feeling that things aren't going your way in the Wheel of Fortune in reverse here, like, is a sure sign that there's a sense that things should go your way, or you want things to go your way, and you're prepared to take action. But there's also a sense here of perhaps needing to just slice through something and just cut something off and walk away. 8 of Cups. But yeah, it feels like the nuclear button. Okay, let's keep going with this column here with the Empress in the reverse. Okay, we've got the Page of Wands. God, this renews and renews and renews. And it goes round and round and round. A rolling stone gathers no moss. There's nothing can grow on it because it just keeps rolling up, down, you know, this side up, that side up, this side up, that side up, like a little ball of dung being rolled by a dung beetle, if you've ever seen that. They're ever so skilled. They make really beautiful spheres. It's like this endless renewal of this. That's what I see in the Page of Wands. Kind of stuck. He can't see anything else. Just like, try this, try this, try this. Let's keep going. Wow. All tried out? Maybe? 10 of Swords? Always darkest before the dawn. But, oh dear, the artwork on this, right, seen in conjunction with this is pretty flipping grim, isn't it? But there's an inevitability to this. Basta così. That's enough. And Cups. 3 of Cups. Gosh, there's a wish to sort of connect in a way that you haven't connected before. This 3 of Cups is also the Empress in the upright. Also, there's fecundity here. There's growth. There's expansion and collaboration, building things together. Whereas this is all very like insular. It's all inside. So let's have a look at this like nuclear button here of the Tower. Okay, so something to do with collaboration again, and that's what I had here in the 3. But this is kind of collaboration in the work of creating joy in the 3 of Cups. This is collaboration in the work of creating work. And this is about the natural flow of energy, money, and physical work. Like motivation, money, and physical work. We've got the merchant who's making the investment, giving the money to the monastery. We've got the monk who lives in the monastery and has just taken the investment, kind of charitable donation, and he is then from the merchant, and with that money he can pay the mason who can go, you know, and then the mason can feed his family. This is about different forms of kind of not codependent, interdependent ways of interacting with the world, working together. So okay, what if one of these three entities goes rogue and does that? But perhaps there's a feeling of wanting out of this. That's the only thing I'm getting off that, other than a detailed description, which probably doesn't hold much interest. Queen of Wands, Page of Swords, and the Two of Cups. Well, how interesting. We get the Queen and the King here. This feels like you feel like there's a lot to lose, Leo. There's a lot to lose by wielding this Ace of Swords here, by taking action, by ending the futile journey of the Knight of Pentacles here, trudging through the desert on a horse with no name. So I couldn't resist it. It's just slicing through it, taking that step. Yeah, the walk of departure, the walk of end. But you know, this, you want this lovely, companionable kind of openness and trust. This is trust. And I mean, this Page of Wands energy here, with this endless recycling of things and getting back in the saddle, and it's just going round and round and round. And okay, it's slightly different every time, but you're getting worn out with that. You want this, you're getting worn out with that Ten of Swords. It's turning into the Ten of Swords, because you know, Nine of Pentacles with that bird there, you know what the score is here. Okay. Right, I don't usually do this either, Leo, but what I'm getting off this is straight up, I think you should energy. And I think you should think about new ways of working and actually reach out. The Page of Swords here, start looking into different ways to exist in the world in a material way. I mean, the only non-material kind of motivation, ostensibly, in this trio here is the monk. You know, because he's supposed to be all about God. I mean, it might turn out that the Mason's got greater faith than the monk or the merchant. Who knows? But some other way of existing in the world. And right, what I'm being drawn to here is this sunflower here with the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands always reminds me of my sister. Anyway, this sunflower here, it changes its orientation depending, you know, it follows the sun. We know that's why it's called a sunflower, of course. But this is about changing orientation in the light of this, in the light of what you see in the Nine of Pentacles here, from your vantage point. That's a vantage point, that garden she's in. I mean, okay, you know, she might have bloody built it, earned it herself and bought it and tended it and everything. But goodness me, that is a vantage point. Okay, I'm seeing, in the light of that, I'm seeing this trio of wand cards here, that there is real possibility to usher in something new. But yeah, you might actually have to do this. You might have to press the nuclear button on something. And it looks like it's something to do with work and collaboration amongst equals, but different but equal. You know, this whole thing doesn't work unless all three of them are there. This doesn't work for what it is unless all three of them are there. So it's something to do with interaction beyond just yourself or one other person. And the potential for change here in the King and the Queen of Wands could get derailed by this kind of easily distracted energy of the Page of Wands. Just saying. I would say with this, reach out, Page of Swords, reach out, but do it like gently. Reach out gently. Just like little bits of research, or perhaps the odd email to someone about just some sort of expansion, some change in this. This feels, I mean, it feels fine, but something's missing, isn't it? And I am, well, maybe that's what's missing. 2 of Cups. Maybe that's what's missing. I was going to say, I'm going to put an oracle card on it, but I was holding this one for ages and ages and ages, using it to point at things. There it is. 2 of Cups. Equal exchange. I'm just doing some maths here. No, okay. Equal exchange of this is reciprocal. There's reciprocity here, and perhaps the role you've been playing in some kind of setup that goes beyond a one-on-one, and that usually is to do with wider family, but there are other cards that represent that better. So that's why I'm thinking this 3 of Pentacles here is really key in this reading, because perhaps the way you've been interacting in some sort of group setting, perhaps there are kind of more, how can I say, more appropriate and more suitable. Perhaps you're not casting your net too wide here, but just not working at a level that kind of befits your capacities. And I do not know where that came from. That just channeled. And the direction of travel I'm seeing in this reading is towards a reassessment of things. And perhaps you've been thinking about this for a long time, Knight of Pentacles, and this wheel's been going around. And I mean, when something stops growing, Empress in reverse here, it does take a while to notice. It really does. I mean, when a plant that's dying or that's struggling, say, it will reach a tiny imperceptible tipping point, but after which it's too late to save it. But you don't see that happen. You don't see things stop growing, because growth is a gradual process. And I think you've seen something, and it feels like the Tower. It feels like, rapid, unscheduled disassembly. But I mean, this equal exchange here that we see in the 2 of Cups, this is not just present in couples, in love relationships. If you can have this energy, this approach with anybody and everybody, and calibrate it in an appropriate way so that you don't come across as weird. But basically you take everyone for who they are. And that's the key in this reading to this 2 of Cups. Taking others for who and what they are, and putting yourself in that appropriate kind of reification as well. An appropriate assessment of yourself and an appropriate assessment of others. And from that comes dealing with others with respect. And that is this double helix of growth to this caduceus of healing here that arises from the union and the exchange of equals. Dare to think it, Leo. Dare to think it. I mean, if you take that on board, that perhaps you've been moving in an arena where, you shine wherever you go, but in certain settings, like, well, what's the point? Because no one's looking, or the lighting's shit or something. You're some sort of inappropriate setting for the power that you actually have. And in embracing your own power, you then become and truly and humbly embracing your own power, just as a matter of realism rather than ego. That then opens up the way to relate with others on truly equal terms. And that's the most beautiful thing in the world. That's healing. Right, Leo, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.